The Trump administration is facing its most serious political crisis yet, and it's all centered around Jeffrey Epstein. A bombshell new poll has just revealed that 81% of Americans directly blame President Trump for hiding crucial information about the Epstein case. Meanwhile, the House has issued multiple subpoenas, including for Bill and Hillary Clinton, and shocking revelations about secret recordings with Ghislaine Maxwell are sending shockwaves through Washington. This is developing into the scandal that could define Trump's presidency. The University of Massachusetts Amherst poll released this week delivers devastating news for President Trump. His approval rating has plummeted to just 38%, marking a 20-point underwater deficit that represents a 6-point drop since April. But the truly shocking finding is the overwhelming 81% of Americans who specifically blame Trump for concealing Epstein-related information. According to the UMass Amherst poll, 70% of respondents say Trump is handling the Epstein case not too well or not well at all. Perhaps even more damaging, 63% believe the administration is actively hiding important information about the case. The poll reveals that this isn't just partisan opposition. The Epstein controversy has united Americans across party lines in unprecedented ways. Even among Trump's own base, 43% of Republicans and conservatives indicate that the president has not handled this issue well. In a dramatic escalation, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer issued 11 subpoenas on Tuesday, August 5th, demanding Justice Department files and testimony from high-profile figures. The subpoenas target former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and a roster of former attorneys general including Merrick Garland, William Barr, Jeff Sessions, and others. Notably absent from the subpoena list, President Trump himself, a glaring omission that legal experts are calling politically motivated. As NYU law professor Ryan Goodman pointed out, if Clinton could have relevant information about Epstein, the same logic applies to Trump, who should be pretty close to the top of that list. Perhaps the most explosive development is CNN's revelation that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche conducted 2 days of recorded interviews with convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell in Florida. These recordings exist, and the Trump administration is now considering releasing the transcripts. This extraordinary step, having a top Justice Department official spend 2 days interviewing someone convicted of grooming and trafficking young girls, raises serious ethical questions. Maxwell was subsequently transferred to a minimum security Club Fed facility in Texas, a move that has sparked outrage from federal prison staff and Epstein victims alike. According to sources, Maxwell told investigators she never saw Trump do anything concerning in relation to Epstein. However, given her conviction and 20-year sentence, questions about her credibility and what she might have received in return for cooperation are inevitable. The crisis has reached such proportions that Vice President J.D. Vance hosted a strategy dinner at his official residence to discuss damage control. Attendees included White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. The fact that the administration's top officials need an emergency meeting to coordinate their Epstein response speaks volumes about the political damage this controversy is inflicting. President Trump continues to face intense pressure from his own supporters to release all Epstein-related documents. The Justice Department released a memo last month claiming no client list exists, despite Attorney General Pam Bondi previously stating on Fox News that such a list was sitting on my desk right now to review. The poll shows Americans aren't buying it. 70% believe an Epstein client list exists. More concerning for Trump, the administration's half measures and limited releases have only fueled more conspiracy theories and demands for transparency. Adding another layer of complexity, Maxwell's lawyers are fighting the release of grand jury transcripts, warning it could prejudice her pending Supreme Court appeal. Meanwhile, Epstein victims and their families have expressed concern about Maxwell being legitimized through these government meetings and her prison transfer. Judge Richard Berman has given the Trump administration until noon Friday to respond to victims' concerns about how any document releases might affect their safety, privacy, and dignity. This crisis is particularly damaging because it strikes at the heart of Trump's political brand.
He built his movement on promises to drain the swamp and expose corruption. Now, with 81% of Americans blaming him for hiding information and 63% believing his administration is concealing evidence, Trump faces accusations of becoming part of the very establishment he claimed to fight. Republican strategists are warning this could devastate turnout in the 2026 midterms. As one strategist told NBC News, this is a major problem and could hurt turnout in the midterms. It signals betrayal to those who believe the president would expose the deep state. With House subpoenas setting August 19th deadlines, potential transcript releases being debated, and Maxwell's legal team fighting document unsealing, this story is far from over. The administration's attempts to quell the scandal through limited releases have only intensified demands for full transparency. As the UMass poll director noted, what was once a discussion held on the fringes of American politics has become center stage. For President Trump, a leader who built his career on controlling narratives, the Epstein files represent a story he cannot control, and one that 81% of Americans believe he's actively trying to hide. The Epstein administration faces a credibility crisis unlike any in modern politics, with overwhelming majorities of Americans, including many in his own party, questioning his transparency and honesty on the Epstein case. President Trump must decide whether continued secrecy is worth the mounting political cost. As this scandal continues to dominate headlines and congressional investigations ramp up, one thing is certain: this story isn't going away anytime soon.